What's up guys, today we're going to be comparing the Galaxy S10e to the Samsung Galaxy A20. So this is about a $100, $150 to $200 smartphone depending on if you get the international version or not. You can pick this up for around $450 to $500 depending on where you get it from. So let's go ahead and get started with the hardware. Now with the A20 you have a dual camera setup, a fingerprint scanner on the back, and you have this plastic back which feels really nice. You can't even really, I thought it was glass when I first got it until I read the spec sheet. It feels really nice in the hand. It has a really nice weight to it, and it's kind of a big phone. So you have your power button and your volume rockers on the side, and down below you have your headphone jack, USB Type-C, and one single firing speaker. Now with the A20 you have kind of a more compact design, which I really like as well. You don't see a lot of compact phones these days. Dual camera setup, flash, little Samsung logo right there. You have a aluminum railing on here which feels really great. It's a nice feeling phone and very pretty looking in person too. So you have your Bixby button and you have your volume rocker, and then we pull over to the side, you have your fingerprint scanner which also acts as the power button. On the bottom you have the 3.5mm headphone jack, USB Type-C, and stereo speakers on this guy. Alright, so let's talk about the display on here. On the A20, you actually have a 6.4-inch display, and it is a Super AMOLED display. So how cool is that to get a Super AMOLED display on a, budget smartphone? So it is 720 by 1560, so pretty much 720p, 268 for the PPI, but it is a very nice display. It's very color accurate, just like the S10e's display. I can barely tell the difference really. Now you have a 5.8-inch display on the S10e, and it is a 1080p display, and it's a pretty nice display. It's a little small and you have that little punch hole. I actually really like the display on here. I like compact phones. Now you do have 438 for the PPI, so it is much sharper than the A20. If you look at icons and text, you will be able to notice that. Now with the A20 you have Android 9, and it's very possible that it could get Android 10 on top of One UI. You also have the Exynos 7884 processor along with the Mali G71 GPU. Now with the S10e you have the same thing, Android 9, One UI. This will most definitely get Android 10. Depending on which country you get it from, you're getting the Exynos 9820 or the Snapdragon 855. And for the GPU you're getting the Mali G76 GPU or the Adreno 640. Now with the A20 you do have micro SD support up to 1 terabyte, which is awesome. You do have 32 gigabytes of storage and 3 gigs of RAM. So you do have the same thing on the S10e, 1 terabyte of micro SD storage, 128 gigabytes of storage, and you also have 6 gigabytes of RAM. So with the S10e you will obviously be able to play games on high, at the highest settings. It doesn't matter what it is, Call of Duty, Fortnite, whatever. On this is kind of like a mid-range gaming experience, so you can play on pretty much medium settings, Call of Duty, PUBG, just fine. Now, when you're watching media on both these guys, you have two really nice displays. Color-wise, they both look pretty much the same. Great colors, deep blacks. Colors do pop. Now, the S10e has the sharper display when you're watching videos because it is 1080p and this is pretty much 720p. But you do have that bigger display. So if you prefer a bigger display, then this is going to be the way to go. You have the little water drop notch. You have the punch hole at the bottom. They both. I don't really mind them. If you turn this screen, when the punch hole's like that instead of over here, it's not really distracting. The water drop notch has never really distracted me at all. But like I said, you have a big display on here, so it just comes down to if you like smaller phones or not. But just note that this does have a sharper display. Now as far as speakers, of course you're going to have better speakers on the S10e since it is stereo. But let's go ahead and just check it out and see how much better it is. So the A20 sounds very good for one speaker. It's definitely loud enough to listen to music out loud, or if you're watching videos. So you know, as we can all hear, the S10e is much louder, more fuller, you know, harder bass, pretty much to be expected. So, you know, they're both really good. For me, it's just, you know, two's going to be better than one. I'm going to clear all applications out, and let's go ahead and run a quick speed test, starting with YouTube. 3, 2, 1. So you can see the S10e beat it by a good amount. 3, 2, 1. So not really a shocker here. Let's go ahead and try Call of Duty Mobile. Alright, 3, 2, 1. So not bad for the A20. I thought it was going to be much slower than that, but it wasn't, you know, dramatically slower than the S10e, so not bad. Now let's talk about cameras. So I want to give a shout out to Samsung because with most $200 smartphones and below, you do not have decent cameras. So even though, you know, we all know the S10 is gonna have the better cameras, but these cameras are really good. So I just want to mention that I was actually impressed when I actually got my hands on them. So you know, and that's really nice on Samsung's part, because Motorola and everybody else, they put some sorry cameras in their budget smartphones. Not all of them, of course, but most of them. But 13 megapixel camera wide, a 5 megapixel ultra wide on the A20, 8 megapixel selfie camera. Now with the S10e, you have a 12 megapixel wide, a 16 megapixel ultra wide, and a 10 megapixel selfie camera. They both shoot at max resolution 2160p. Which is awesome if you're a vlogger or something like that. Now look at this, guys. So they're almost like neck and neck. No, so look at the price, $500 pretty much, 200 and below, depending on where you get it from. They're almost really close in color accuracy, in detail. Now, of course, the S10e definitely looks a bit sharper, especially if you keep zooming in. It keeps a little bit more clarity. But how cool is that these cameras are actually comparable? That's very, very awesome. Now, as far as the front-facing cameras, the S10e beats it by a mile. As you can see, skin color is better. The overall photo is just more sharper, more detailed. Like, it's just an overall better photo. The A20 seems to like soften everything up a lot, so you know that's the thing. But they both are pretty decent. For this price, it's decent. Now here's another image of the mic. As you can see on the A20, we zoom in. Now it doesn't keep that much clarity. As you can see, we start to kind of lose clarity a little bit, and the S10e stays very sharp, but they're both still really good cameras. So I'm very impressed with the Galaxy A20 being able to even be comparable to the S10e. They're very close. Now with the S10e, you have Bluetooth 5.0. You also have NFC on board, as well as wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. Now with the A20, surprisingly, you do have NFC for your mobile payments. Bluetooth 5.0, it is missing the wireless charging and of course the reverse wireless charging. Now as far as getting into the phones on both these guys, as you can see, the fingerprint scanner is very fast on both. It's almost instant, pretty much. The physical ones have gotten really good, as you can see, pretty much instant. Which one do I prefer? Sometimes it just depends, because if I'm gaming on here, you'll kind of get like that swipe down gesture like this. That'll kind of mess with you when you're gaming. So I kind of like to have it on the back, but if you have it on the table, it's easy to just like unlock it without being able to lift it up. I don't have this finger register, but you would just be like that. With this, you have to you know, pick it up to unlock it. So you know, that's the thing. Now you do have fast face unlock on both these guys, so that's not an issue at all. So as far as like the battery situation, so you have a 4,000 milliamp battery with 15 watt fast charging on the Galaxy A20, and as you can see, I have it plugged up to the charger right now because I rarely charge this because this thing is hard to kill. You're getting around a day and a half of battery life. For me, I can get even longer battery life because I'm a super light user, but you can get that if you're really on your phone. And on the Galaxy S10e, you can get that as well, but you have to be like I said, a light user, because you have a 3,100 milliamp battery. But you have to remember that it is a smaller display, and you have that 15-watt fast charging, so they both charge pretty fast. But you know, you have more charging options on the S10e. You can wirelessly charge, and like I said, you have that reverse wireless charging. But both are great battery performers. So that's pretty much it, guys. Which one do you like better? So I really like both these phones. You can't go wrong with both. Even if you have the A20 and you want to upgrade to the S10e, you know, it is a bit smaller, but like I said, you kind of have to like compact phones. So that's nothing to really, I'm not going to complain about small size. You kind of just have to, you know, like it. But both great cameras on both. You know, the S10e is just more feature packed. But both really great smartphones. Very impressed with Samsung and what they've done this year. So thanks for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one.